After years of waiting, we finally get the Snyder Cut, and with it, we have 10 movies in the DCEU. Well, probably 10 or 9, we don't know. But I'm counting the Snyder Cut as a DCEU film for this specific video, this specific ranking that I'm creating. For the next ranking, which will be with the Suicide Squad, I won't be counting the Snyder Cut with the DCEU movies, and we'll go with the traditional Justice League 2017 film, which will of course be behind in this list. So without any delay of time, let's start. And to be honest, my list is going to be really controversial, so let's start. Number 10, Justice League 2017. Well, initially I was really confused between this and another movie which is at number 9, but I went with this because in my previous list I went with a movie that is at number 9, but I thought to swipe them out because I think whatever they did with the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League, that was an epic film, and what we got was trash can, pure trash can. I realized it heavily after watching the Snyder Cut, and that's why I think I went with this one to be the worst movie on the list, because it becomes more and more painful that what we got in 2017 was just a cache of crap, and that's really disappointing to be even to hear it. And what happened with the Snyder Cut, it's a story that has become a legend, and we fans made it true. We fans were the one who made the Snyder Cut, and this stupid movie that we got back in 2017, that was not Snyder. That was not the Justice League movie. It was not. Number 9, Suicide Squad. Well, this was also a very bad movie. As I said, I was really confused between Justice League and Suicide Squad. So I think Suicide Squad is a worse film overall. But whatever happened with the actual Justice League movie that Snyder was planning, that has made Justice League 2017 movie worse for me. It might be that in another list Suicide Squad will be at number 10 and Justice League might be at number 9, but for this list I think I'm going with Suicide Squad. See the villain of this film, horrible, truly one of the worst villain in the whole DC extended universe is Enchantress. The story is suffering itself. I don't know anything good that David Ayer's cut is going to be anything good. I don't just think that, because everything is not the Snyder Cut, but at least we can hope it will have been better. I'm not really excited to watch Ayer Cut. I don't know why. Snyder Cut was actually, I like the characters more of Justice League, so yeah, might be that's the reason. Number 8, Shazam. Well, this movie, I know a lot of you loved. Even I love this film. In fact, I love all the top 8 movies in that on my list. They are just amazing to me, awesome. Each and every one of them is awesome, and I don't find any complaints about Shazam film. There are no criticisms from my side. It was a great film, just a really great, fun to watch, entertaining film. But that's the point. You cannot. It can become an experience that you will remember forever. Of course not, because it's just a fun to watch, entertaining film. It made me laugh, and it had really good emotions in it, with the families and all that, how families are treated and how these orphans are treated. I think that was really good, the way it presented it to us and all those stuff. The villain of the movie was quite good, but it was not that rewatchable to me. Out of all the DCEU movies in my top 8, I think Shazam is the least rewatchable, so I went with it. Number 7 is Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Well, this was a really entertaining film. I think it was more entertaining than Shazam to me. I really loved the action in this film. It was just so really cool action sequences, a good villain, and of course Harley Quinn keeps joking every time, and I think I like these characters. I think it was a better movie than Shazam in my opinion. I know a lot of you will disagree with that because a lot of you hated Birds of Prey, but I think I quite enjoyed it, and that's what makes my list controversial, right? But we all have our opinions, and I think Birds of Prey was a pretty fantastic movie, which is quite more rewatchable than Shazam to me. It has some, as I said, great action sequences, which make the movie even better, thanks to Chad Stahelski, who gave his part in the action sequences. So yeah, I think overall this is a better film than Shazam for me. Number 6, Wonder Woman 1984. Well, I know a lot of you hated even this one. Half of the DC movies are of course hated by the audiences, but those which are loved by the audiences are dearly loved, and I think this one was pretty controversial. A lot of you loved it, a lot of you hated it. I think I just liked it. on my first watch I loved it truly. I gave it an extremely positive review, but as more and more I watched it with others, with other audiences like my friends and family, I think this was pretty much had lots of problems in it. I mean, especially during the third act of that renouncing the wishes sequence. I mean, that was really good. The screenplay was really good, but it makes no sense. It is truly silly, to be honest. How can everyone renounce their wish? And they didn't even completely explain that part. Whether Maxwell Lord's renouncement just makes it everything or everyone's renouncement possible. So yeah, it's still a pretty messed up film. A lot of plot holes in it. Number 5 is Wonder Woman. I loved everything in this film except for the VFX, especially in the final battle. The VFX were pretty off at times. This is a great and enjoyable film, and one of the true emotional journeys in the whole DC extended universe. I think Wonder Woman 1984 is more emotional than this film. Yeah, I think WW84 is more emotional, but when it comes to the story and the action sequences, Wonder Woman far surpasses Wonder Woman 1984. It's not that silly. Of course, WW84 was a really silly film. Like, okay, ask for something and then renounce it. This is not something stupid. It deals with real life struggle. It deals with the First World War and all the Germans and British officers, and this makes more sense. It looks more realistic than the Wonder Woman 1984. It's more fun to watch. I think it had really great action sequences as compared to the first one. Not saying the first one had really bad action sequences. Wonder Woman 94 had. I'm not saying that WW84 had bad sequences, but that was better. Number 4 is Man of Steel. Well, this was a pretty. I just rewatched Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice before watching the Snyder cut. So this is a great film. I'll just say that it is a great film, bro, with a great score from Hans Zimmer. Just that makes me chill. That gives me chills every time. It's just so good, and the way it explains Superman's journey, how Superman suffers on Earth and how his father sacrificed his life for saving him. It has a really great emotional touch to it, and people complain about a dark Superman. Well, I think it's pretty fine. We get something new to see. Why do we always want something like Christopher Reeve's Superman? Zack Snyder brings his own take to the character of Superman, and I pretty much loved this one. It's my favorite Superman. Henry Cavill just does an amazing job. The acting and everyone in this film was just so good, and the whole action sequence at the end, that was incredible, truly incredible. Number 3, Aquaman. Well, if you want more epicness, more stakes, more skills, more scope, then what can be better than Aquaman in the whole DCEU? I mean, it's just one character and it goes so big with this one character alone. And we can see that with the box office results. It's the only DCEU film to cross $1 billion because of its epicness, its scale. It was so huge. I mean, all the action sequences itself look huge. Even from the trailer, we can say that this is going to be a big epic film, and it sure was. It had some of the greatest epic action sequences in the whole superhero film genre. Or the final underwater battle sequence, or if you talk about the Sicily chase, the trench sequence, or the gladiator fight, everything in this movie was so well done, especially when it comes to the visual effects. Atlantis is so gorgeous. It looks really gorgeous, and it's far better than Zack Snyder's Atlantis, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I think. No matter, Zack created a darker Atlantis, but this one looks really like Atlantis. It needs to be colorful. Not everything works dark. Number 2, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Well, here is something that really works dark for me. People complain about the darkness in the DCEU. Well, I think that's what makes DCEU stronger and more different than Marvel, and that's what I wanted to see. And Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice gives everything to me. When I watched it back in 2016, it was just so good. My 2 of the favorite fictional characters of all time fighting each other. It's just more and more epic. I think this is truly, it has a great deep sense to it. People often complain about the weird mess that was created. I understand that. I truly understand that it was a mess. It was a mess of multiple plot lines running together in one single film. But overall, I enjoyed it so much. And the final action sequences of Batman vs Superman and Trinity vs Doomsday stand out to me. They were just so grateful with some of the most epic moments I have ever seen. Especially the Wonder Woman entrance in the Trinity Unite scene is a dream come true for a superhero film fan. And that's all I needed, and that's all what Zack gave me. Number one is of course Zack Snyder's Justice League. On the first watch, I was really confused between Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice and Zack Snyder's Justice League. But when I watched it second time on with a crowd, with a lot of people, a lot of my friends, then I think this was a really great film. I enjoyed it more on the second time with a crowd, obviously, because it had so much meaning to it. I mean, this was such a great film. So I think the Batman Superman Dawn of Justice is more a deeper and more connectable film, but this one is more epic and huge film that I wanted to see. And it's exactly what a Justice League movie needs to be. Like, it was a team up film, and it gave everything that I needed to me, everything I needed. Sorry. So it had great action sequences, and that's where Zack has done the mastery of action sequence. I would like to really say that it had some of the most epic films I have ever seen, and I loved it so much. It's one of, as I said, it's one of the most epic film I have ever seen in my entire life so far. And I loved all the way that Zack Snyder created this film with a lot of deep meanings to the other characters, not like wasting the potential of Flash and Cyborg in Justice League 2017 was just so embarrassing. And here, that's just so good. I mean, those two characters were fully utilized in this film, and they were given epic moments, and it of course sets up a sequel. It of course does, but will we get it? I don't know. I can't say anything as of now, but I will surely like some sequels to this film. Well, I am also not having any problem with the multiverse, but let's just see what happens. But I think this was a way better film than Justice League. It was a trillion times better film than Justice League 2017, with some of the most epic film moments I have ever seen with these characters. So I just loved it, that's for sure. Okay, so that was my ranking for the 10 DCEU movies ranked. Share your own in the comment section down below. Like, share and subscribe to Film Villa.